Hello, my name is John Upton and my research is focused on electricity research and saving money for dairy farmers by reducing their energy research. So we've conducted many energy audits on dairy farms and we found that the average cost of electricity is 0.5 of a cent per litre, ranging from 0.26 to 0.87. So there's a large gap in terms of the most efficient farms and the least efficient farms. And this is good news for farmers because there's definitely money to be saved and it's very easy to do so. So our research has showed that milk cooling is the largest consumer of electricity at 31% of the total, followed by water heating at 23%, milking machine at 20%, lighting at 3%, water pump at 5%, and all other consumptions on the farm at 18%. And this other consumption is made up of winter housing facilities and other miscellaneous uses such as air compressors. So the number one piece of advice for dairy farmers looking to save money in this area is to move to a cheaper electricity supplier. The majority of dairy farmers are paying the most expensive rates available right now. And simply you log on to a cost comparison website such as bonkers.ie, you put in the electricity rate and supplier that you're currently using, and this website, bonkers.ie, which is accredited by the CER, will give you the cheapest available rate. And right now, for a 100 cow dairy farmer, it's possible to save up to €800 simply by reviewing the tariff and signing up to the least expensive rate. The next best piece of advice is to use a plate cooler. Cool the milk with well water before it enters the bulk tank. And the recommended ratio is 2 litres of water to every 1 litre of milk flowing through the plate cooler. This will save up to 50% on your milk cooling costs, which, as we know, is the largest consumer of electricity on dairy farms in Ireland. The third most important piece of advice is to use as much nitrate electricity as you possibly can. This is very useful for heating water, but especially for milk cooling early in the morning. Nitrate is available till 8 AM during the summer. So if you're set up with good plate cooling, it's possible to have the majority of milk cooled in the morning on nitrate electricity. We've done many studies on renewable technologies such as solar thermal and variable speed drive vacuum pumps. However, we found that in terms of economic performance, the payback is often beyond 10 years and should be approached with caution. The ice bank is a good option if water restrictions are present on the farm. This will shift milk cooling energy consumption to off-peak rates. However, the plate cooler with the direct expansion tank is the first port of call. Of course, keeping equipment maintained, keeping the water heater maintained, and especially annual services in terms of the cooling equipment is also highly recommended. And water leaks can be a very costly expense for farmers, especially if it's the main pipe that happens to be cracked owing to frost and so on. So just to summarise, we see a large range in terms of energy costs on dairy farms. It's very easy for a farmer to check his own energy costs simply by reviewing his electricity bills. As soon as you know where you stand in terms of the range, especially if you're on the higher end of the scale, I highly recommend following these 7 simple tips to saving energy on dairy farms. And our research has shown that the average dairy farmer can save over €1,000 per year simply by implementing some of the simple tips.